Hey there, this is Debesh, the info security researcher. Today, I wish to share with you an article published on LinkedIn today morning. It is about connecting with like minded people. If some of you have read it, you already know the content of the article. I will share the article and read it and also take your views. So, this is the article. Meet like minded people online, connecting with an alumna. This is one story. I have written earlier another story. The first story, Meet like minded people online. That was about late Professor H. John Caulfield, whom I have connected here on LinkedIn. I have not met him earlier. And by the way, he has completed his PhD before my birth. And I have read his book. Maybe one or more books were there in our library in the Department of Applied Physics, University of Calcutta, where I did my master's in applied physics, optics, and optoelectronics. So Professor Caulfield's book was there. I never knew at that time that there will be internet in India and something internet will be coming. At that time, there was no internet in the world. It was in the 1980s, and we have read some of the chapters, some of the pages of Caulfield's book on holography. And holography is a very fascinating topic. At that time, we have not seen any hologram. We have only read it in the books. And I remember a while in a professor's home, he used to subscribe to National Geographic's magazine. That was in 1984. The probably the May issue of the 1984 National Geographic, if I'm not remembering incorrectly. So our professor of physics, he showed me, and I was in the bachelor's program in Scottish Church College, a college in Kolkata, Calcutta, India. It is also very well known. Swami Vivekananda, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose were noted alumni of this college, Scottish Church College. Anyway, one professor of this college at that time, he showed us the cover of National Geographic magazine. He used to subscribe to that magazine. It was not actually coming into our library or college library. So it was his personal subscription. He showed that on the cover there was an eagle. It was glistening in white light. We could see something. It is having some three-dimensional perspective, and he showed us that look at this. This is the hologram. So that is the first hologram we have seen, and I did not know at that time that I would be doing doctoral studies and I will be in the deep research and studies in optics and optoelectronics, and I will ever meet Professor H. John Caulfield. So I first connected with him on LinkedIn, and we invited him for an international conference, the International Conference on Trends in Optics and Photonics, Icon Top, in 2009. I remember the conference is actually, we can say, I have created the name, the logo, the website, everything. One of our professors. He was the head of the department at that time, Professor Ajay Ghosh. Uh, I at that time just quit a permanent job in the Ministry of Defense, DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, as a scientist, and joined as a professor of electronics and communication engineering in a private engineering college near Kolkata. So when I visited our alma mater, applied physics department, at that time that optics and optoelectronics section had already become a full-fledged department, and the name was Department of Applied Optics and Photonics. So then head of the department, Professor Ajay Ghosh, told me that there was some fund available for conferences and we have to organize something. Then I have created this international conference on trends in optics and photonics, the name, logo, everything, the website. I purchased the domain name and created everything from scratch. I did not know anything. And that is how, in that conference, I listed eminent persons from the world in the field of optics and optoelectronics, whom to invite, and made a list and showed it to Professor Ajay Ghosh. And John Caulfield was a renowned name at that time. I mean, already he is very famous, and naturally, we also invited Professor John Caulfield along with many other people, and he agreed to come. And but at that time he could not come because of some problem with his, means his passport was lost. I mean, somebody stole his attache suitcase while he just came out of the visa office, and there was only 3 or 4 days left when he was to leave for India to attend this conference and deliver invited lecture. But he made his passport immediately on an emergency basis, but the passport number was different, so he had to apply again for the Indian visa. And the visa requirement that it requires at least 2 weeks to process, minimum 2 weeks. So he could not come in that conference. So we were unhappy. He was also not happy. The air ticket price was, I mean, wasted because it was already booked. And anyway, I was in that private engineering college, and we organized some students conference from SPI student chapters of that college and University of Calcutta. And we jointly organized a conference and invited Professor Caulfield, and he kindly agreed and came and visited this place in 2011. 2011. And I remember how kind he is. At that time, he was 72 years old, and that is his first visit to India. And many other professors came from other places, like an ex-professor of director of Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, wanted to come. He could not come, but 2 professors from IIT Delhi came, and the whole department of applied optics and photonics, almost whole department, joined there to meet Professor Caulfield. And the conference was held in the Science City Auditorium, Kolkata. And after the conference, I remember Professor Colville told me that try to do something what you don't know. That was a great advice. He wanted me to do something new, to start something new, no incremental things. He wanted me to do something new. So that was a great advice, and we could do something. There he saw many things. Some students were presenting paper in antenna propagations, microwaves, all antenna designs. And after returning to US, he sent me an email and suggested that I do some imaging experiments using microwaves. So with his advice, I did some experiments of artificial color perception using microwaves. We tried to sense the red, green, and blue colors with microwave illumination. So the experiments were very encouraging. Unfortunately, Professor Caulfield was diagnosed of pancreatic cancer, and he uh, left this earth in the January of 2012. And um, it was a very sad day for me when I knew this happening. Then I was invited to present a paper in a special conference called Tribute to H. John Caulfield, and I was one of the speakers out of the 21 invited speakers, including Professor John Goodman and many other persons. Like I always see names here, Professor Akhilesh Laktakia. He was also there in that name in the invited speaker, because now Professor Laktakia commented that John Caulfield was a good friend, and now this very article is about my connection with our junior in college in that applied of physics department, optics and optoelectronics section. Her name is Shashwati Banerjee. I remember seeing Shashwati long ago, many years ago, probably uh, 2003. I spotted her in an international conference I was attending in Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, in the winter season, and I spotted her during the dinner session. She was just standing alone. I just spotted her and asked, Nihonjin desu ka? Because at that time he uh, attend that, attended that conference from Japan. He was doing a second PhD in Japan. He did his first PhD in optical design from the Department of Applied Physics under the guidance of Professor Ilhin Hajra. And after that, he went to Japan, and never probably she thought he would do another PhD, but eventually she enrolled for another PhD, and that is a subject very interesting. She learned the computation of microwave. I mean. Maxwell's equations propagation, and it is called FDTD, finite difference time domain method. And after 2003, it is now 2024. Yes, 2024. So more than 25 years. To 2025, I connected her again on LinkedIn. So it is almost 22 years gap. And when I approached her to be my guest, I proposed a new series, Optics, Photonics, and My Story. Um, and that is an Optical Society of India. So I wanted to make a episode, I mean, a segment that OSI members speak. OSI means Optical Society of India. And Shashwati Banerjee, Dr. Shashwati Banerjee promptly agreed, and that was May 10, 2025. She was featured in this podcast live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And this is the article. Now I write about her, uh, that connection. So, first, connect with like minded people on LinkedIn. That is a very good advice I am giving you, everybody. I mean, it is a good thing. I remember to know about LinkedIn from a friend who now is in the USA, who also studied with me physics in Scottish Church College. But after masters, he went to the US and completed his PhD from Stony Brook, SUNY. And after that, did not get a very suitable academic position, but he is now in computing, and in the expert Java programmer, C programmer. So in 2008, when I met him in Kolkata, he asked me, "Do you know LinkedIn?" I told no. Then he told that search it and make an account. So I created the account, and in 2008, I was not keen to do anything, no post or nothing. I never engaged on LinkedIn. But since 2010 or 11, I gathered some interest, and uh, I started to view people's posts and other things, and then I started interest in getting connected with people. At the very beginning, I was very shy to send connection invite, but later I found that it is a way we can connect with like-minded people. So connecting with people online is now common among many of us. Whether it is LinkedIn or Facebook, people with common interests like to connect and follow their content and activities online. When I first joined LinkedIn in 2008, as I was telling that I came to know about it from my friend, I didn't take any interest in using the connecting feature. It took a few years to start connecting with people. First, I received connection invites when I accepted with some hesitation. Gradually, I started sending connection invites to like-minded people. That is, with a common academic field of study, research, and profession. I strongly recommend connecting with like-minded people on LinkedIn and elsewhere on cyberspace. You can realize the positive effect after experiencing the connection. And even reconnecting with a long-time friend on LinkedIn can make a huge impact on your current work and life. Let me see if anybody joined. No. Okay. So often, I often invite offline friends also to join LinkedIn. It is also a good option to invite people to join LinkedIn from other spaces of the networking platforms. Some people find it awkward to join particular networking platforms. They have their reasons for not joining specific platforms. People may have a preference for some platforms. We can spread awareness about LinkedIn to our acquaintances and inform them of the networking power of LinkedIn, how good LinkedIn is for all the professions. Because this is a professional platform. Uh, I could bring some people from Facebook and the cryptocurrency based content publishing platforms such as Odyssey, Readcash, and PublishX to LinkedIn. Sometimes I also meet some of my offline friends on LinkedIn. In this article, I will briefly narrate the story of how I was fortunate to connect with one of my offline friends online on LinkedIn after almost 20 years. Yeah, yes, I was just telling about, I almost told everything about Dr. Shashwati Banerjee. I found Dr. Shashwati Banerjee, an alumna of our university, that is the University of Calcutta Department of Applied Physics, the Optics and Optoelectronics section, which has now become the Department of Applied Optics and Photonics since 2005, I think. Yes. And in May 2025, I invited Shashwati to appear on my podcast, Learning Time Podcast, and she kindly agreed. Shashwati was featured on my podcast on the special inaugural section OSI Members Speak, Optical Society of India Members Speak, in May 2025. It was nostalgic after chatting with a friend whom I saw almost 20 years ago, 22 years ago, at a conference in Delhi. I vividly remember meeting Shashwati in the winter of 2003 at the dinner evening of an international conference held on the campus of the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. She came to attend the conference from Japan, where she was pursuing her second PhD under a Japanese government scholarship scheme. We met there after a gap of 7 years. I met her probably in 1996 before while I was going to join my DRDO job. Incidentally, that was a pleasant incident. I met Shashwati and their family, extended family, in the new old Delhi railway station. I was eating around 9 p.m. at night. I suddenly found a group of people entered for eating. I spotted Shashwati and she told that they are going to Shimla for a tour. So it was probably, yes, September 1996. So after that 2003, and then after 2003, 2025. Now we connected and spoke virtually after a gap of more than 20 years, 22 years, literally. There was almost no interaction between May 2025 and the present until Shashwati wrote me a message in December 25 that she and her partner, Professor James B. Cole, are willing to do some podcast or some seminar or some online activities. So if I am interested to do something, so Shashwati and I are now collaborating to host. After that message, I agreed, and Shashwati and I are now collaborating to host an online workshop on computational photonics. First two episodes of the online mini workshop on computational photonics by Professor James B. Cole and Dr. Shashwati Banerjee were live streamed simultaneously to LinkedIn and YouTube on December 6 and December 13, 2025, respectively. The first one was on introductory uh, subjects of microwave computational photonics, and so these two episodes you can view on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. So this is the YouTube link. The first one, the computational photonics and introduction, and the second one, part 2, it was on December 13. uh, the title is finite difference methodologies and real world problem solving. So the part 3 of the mini workshop on computational photonics is upcoming on LinkedIn and YouTube, hopefully on December 20, the coming Saturday. Watch out for the announcement of part 3 of the workshop, which I will schedule late night today, or tomorrow early morning. I am yet to get some documents and some photographs from Shashwati. So I will do it after that. In the meantime, you are invited to watch the replay of other podcast episodes on my podcast channel, Learning Times Podcast, on the live section of my YouTube channel, or on my LinkedIn event page. So that is all about that article what I published today, and you can read this article, meet like-minded people online, connecting with an alumni. And let me stop sharing this page, and let me try to find out my other article, which is the first one in this series, and that was probably on, yes, as I told, John Caulfield. Yes, I will share this also. Just a second. Okay, this is the first article which I published on August 12, 2025. Connect with like-minded people. Interaction with Professor H. John Caulfield. So the preliminary section is same. Connect with like-minded people on LinkedIn. I am giving you the advice, and it is a good advice, of course. You should, because professionally you should connect with good people whom you can trust. Afterwards, you can think about whether you will trust or not. But first, that like-mindedness is very important. Like your frequency of thinking should match. First of all, the subject, and then the other things. Okay, so Professor H. John Caulfield. I invited Professor H. John Caulfield to deliver special lecture at a SPI students event in our college in India in 2011. And he kindly agreed and came to India just to help us. He was 70 plus at that time, and because that it was a grant from SBI and it was not a money that can be used for business class. So he had to avail the cheap airfare, and he had to also have many breaks in the flights and long hours of flight journey. So Professor Caulfield advised me after the conference. He advised me, try to do something that you don't know. I understood that it was an implication towards innovation. Later, John and I interacted via email. I initiated research studies in a new domain, microwaves. It was completely a new subject to me. I carried out some intuitive experiments. He gave his remarks on the results via email. After a couple of months, John was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The doctors told him that he would live for only a few more months. John wrote by email that he would prove the doctors wrong and would live beyond that time. Professor John Caulfield expired in January 2012. He used to reply from his hospital bed using a Mac Air laptop. Only say few words. Do this. Wonderful. I would have done this like this. And I still have some unpublished experimental results that Professor Caulfield shared. I may publish. Still, I am holding it. 2011, and it is now 2025. So 14 years. Maybe I will continue that work. So the published paper is artificial color perception. Let me show that paper also, if I can. Let me let me have to search. And okay, I will share this also again. Just a minute. Okay, this is the paper we published. Uh, John was suggesting me to submit it to a very well-known, reputed research journal of the world. But I told him that let me publish the preliminary result in our Journal of Optics, which was then co-published by Springer, the Optical Suite of India flagship journal, Journal of Optics. So this paper was published in 2013. Uh, After John expired. Before that, I presented that in that Icon Top 2011 conference. At that time, John was there. He permitted me to present that in that Kolkata conference. And after that, I did some extension of the work, and that I could only. I was thinking to publish it, but then that sad news came that he expired. And after that, I got an email from his daughter that she could find from the emails and other communication that I was the last person in the world who collaborated with him. So she suggested that I should submit a paper to the special conference tribute to H. John Caulfield in the SPI annual, a part of the SPI annual meeting in 2013. So that I did. So that also the title, and only I can show, because there is no way I can show the complete paper. So let it come. Just, yes, it has come. So I will reshare this also with you. This is presented in that conference, tribute to H. John Caulfield, a part of SPI annual meeting 2013. So it is color sensing under microwaves. Here I did some experiments using vector network analyzer, and the results were quite encouraging. I used some three colored cellophane papers, cellophane sheets, as three colored objects, and it showed some beautiful characteristics, like it can be analogous to that red, uh, green, blue sensitivities of our eye. So anyway, this is an experience. I can say that it has resulted from my interaction with uh, like-minded people in the world through LinkedIn, and also then we met physically. And now today's story is the opposite. I reconnected with a friend with whom I lost contact for many years, 22 years. Then I reconnected on LinkedIn, and hopefully Dr. Shashwati Banerjee and Professor James B. Cole will visit Kolkata in the last week of December, and January we will meet in Kolkata in person. So Professor James Cole was an invited speaker in the Icon Top 2011. I met him there. At that time, Shashwati did not come. She was in Japan. Now, this time we are trying to organize an on-site workshop also. After this three-episode series, that uh, mini online workshop on computational photonics, we intend to make it on-site in January 2026 in Kolkata. So that is our plan, and we hope to do so. So please join the next episode, the third episode of the online mini workshop on computational photonics by Professor James B. Cole and Dr. Shashwati Banerjee, which will be streamed on December 20, Saturday, this coming Saturday 2025 at 9:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So that is all. I won't take more time. So I will close this session, and I think there is no chat. Let me check. Only one, Samsuddin Ismail. He wrote good job. Okay. Thanks for your feedback and support. Uh, Shamsuddin Ismail. So please be there and connect with like-minded people and have a nice time. So I will end the stream on LinkedIn and YouTube. So bye. Have a good time and see you on coming Saturday with the part 3 of the online mini workshop on computational photonics by Professor James B. Cole and Dr. Shashwati Banerjee. Please tune and give your feedbacks. Thanks. Bye.